cell phone. So we're just testing the waters here. He's figuring it out. So he's my little manager now as he learns how to, I guess, use a cell phone, right? Got to give him something to do, in terms of learning the ins and outs around it. And so far, he's done pretty good. Between what he didn't know and what I knew, we managed to get this going. So basically, what's going on right now is this is just a test as I wipe these little things that I bought, right, for Andre. So when he starts doing his meal preps, he has these handy to create his suppers for everybody in the house. And then as he gets more confident with cooking, then he can start making his own gravy mixes and whatnot. Did you see how my eyes wander over there?
Someone just said, "Hey, Judy."
Who is it? Somebody calling me by name.
Bailey.
Bailey. Bailey, don't leave me, girl. I lost two subscribers today. Truly amazing and forever blessed. They're up in somewhere out that way. I'm so stressed out. Andre says I look sick today.
You kind of do.
He says I've been kind of wobbly, and actually I am, and my body is feeling really kind of weird because I've been a contortionist because of what just recently happened in the house. Anyway, Bailey, what's going on now is, well, I did the little donation to Lady Jane for the children, right? And so I did the video called "What Prevents You from Giving." Okay, just that co-therapy, right? We're just right, talking out our feelings and so that we make the right decisions. Okay, and then so anyway, Truly Amazing came in, said something. I commented once or twice or three times, right? Trying to stay positive with the situation. And it was, she mentioned it was like, it happened so fast and so sudden, and it doesn't make any fucking sense other than I'm dealing with emotional vampires, right? You can see I'm kind of tearing up here because it's really pissing me off because I don't got time to be fooling around, right? And with Mickey Mouse crap when I'm losing tens of thousands of dollars in a very short period of time, okay? And I'm having to buy and replace tools or food or whatever so I do that video. Truly Amazing comes in and says, now keep in mind, I'm under the impression that Truly Amazing and Forever Blessed are the same two people. Okay, I did not know that Truly Amazing was so-called Shelly's Forever Blessed mother, because Shelly told me she had two accounts. One was Forever Blessed and the other one was Truly Amazing. One person, two accounts. Okay, and then she invited her mom to participate. So her mom, from what I can understand and was led to believe, had her own independent account. Yeah, okay, sure. So anyway, all right. And because I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm sticking up for Lady Jane, but I don't, I mentioned that, like, why, like, she asked kind of like, why are you, why are you working like with Lady Jane again, considering the issues I had in the past, right? And, I was like, well, one, I'm not here to judge, right? She's not committing crimes on YouTube, obviously, whatever, and I'm nobody to cast stones. I sew stripper costumes when I get a chance. All right. At least I used to. And, so, right. And, I don't want to have to do outreach again with a stranger. Not that Lady Jane, quote unquote, isn't a stranger, because she is. But at least there's some history there. There's a little bit of foundation. We've got some substance with these take it to a whole new level videos with her, right? When she was going out to see Mama Peter and Little Peter, right? And we know what happened with that. We know I took a break. And then we know I came back and I approached Lady Jane, right? I'm really worried about Amari. So how about I hold this and you go check on him and then come back, okay?
You have 5 viewers watching you.
I have what?
You had 16 viewers watching you for a second.
Okay, well, I don't know. He gonna learn how to do this, okay, people? So in the meantime, I really have been thinking about little Peter. You see, that's the thing, because all my children's nonprofit stuff has been thrown out, people, as people are like abusing me as they do it and expecting me to freaking pay for it, right? And then Andre's trucks, all these trucks. I gave Lady Jane money to buy little Peter a Tonka truck, just a simple little Tonka truck that he could play with in the dirt and not have it get broken. It would last a very long time for him, and it would instill really good self-esteem. And he grew up to be whatever. He could grow up to be anything with that Tonka truck. Okay, do you know how hard it is to get a freaking toy in freaking Africa, up into where I was networking in Kampala? Okay, like the best that Lady Jane could get, and it was extremely expensive, was this little teeny weeny thing, which she ended up sending back, and then took that money and bought food and whatever else Mama Peter needed, right? Okay, I understand that. For me to send 25 pounds of craft material for children, because or a toy, like a Tonka truck, it would cost me like $200 to $300 for less than 25 pounds. Like, come on, people, right? So, okay, and I really wanted him to have that toy, but it never happened. And then we've got Joel Overton doing his charity stuff up in the Kampala area, not far from where Lady Jane is. And what does he do? He just walks on by a little teeny weeny boy that could be a little Peter, right? And carry on some conversation with some Muslim that clearly looks like it's Islamic and maybe is a male under that burqa shit that it was wearing, because it wasn't normal after I took it to exposure. And the fact that they walked right by that little child without stopping and asking questions as to where the parent was, or to make sure that there was an adult there for the child before they kept on fucking walking. How the hell can you be a community activist when you walk on by a little child, a little 2-year-old sitting on the floor, and then forget the floor, on the cement, on the sidewalk, right? As people are walking by, no adult to be found paying attention to that child. Well, the child just watching and not watching, right? And they got big ass. Okay, I'm supposed to go knocking on Joel Overton's door. Would you help me to go find little Peter so that we can make sure that he's got some food to eat? Because I haven't talked to Lady Jane for I don't know how long, but it's been a while. And I am kind of concerned because unlike a whole lot of freaking other people around me, I'm not like them people. I actually care about kids and the community and all this stuff. Okay? So, did I go against my better judgment by contacting Lady Jane and asking her to go look for little Peter, and while she did it, bring some food and forwarded $100 to her? Okay? This is what pisses me off, right? All right, so I do my little introduction video, right? What prevents you from giving? Because I know what I'm dealing with here, because I dealt with these kids when I worked with them when they came to Canada. And people are throwing that shit out in the garbage or acting like it doesn't mean anything, that there's no value to it, and that I'm just a bunch of hokey dokey, don't know what I'm talking about bullshit woman, when in fact I know what I'm talking about because I was out in the field. Right? So I'm trying to convince myself, okay, well, we know what we're dealing with here clearly. And like I said in the last video, when I was talking about what prevents you from giving, I lost that thought because I'm so upset. Because, I'm being challenged on how dare you by Truly Amazing, who I thought was Shelly, but is actually Shelly's mom. But it took me 3 fucking years to figure it out because I just got slapped around by 2 fucking bitches on the internet that never show their faces, but props me up emotionally. You see, this is the thing. They prop me up emotionally with their kind words about how they care about me and the kids, and that, you know, they got they're praying they're praying with their preacher so that whatever freaking shit that's been going on in my life turns itself around. But you know what? I'm here to tell the freaking story, and this is the story. So okay, whatever. You know, I mentioned Lady Jane. I did the $100. I opened up to what people may or may not feel when it comes time to making a donation for one reason or another, whatever their reasons are, and whoever they're donating it to, you know, and how they, you know, can convince themselves not to do it because, and I gave them options as to get in touch with themselves through that co-therapy, right? Because we don't all know things, right? Okay, so, you know, truly amazing. The so-called mother, who I was led to believe was Shelley, just like Forever Fucking Blessed was Shelley. Because Shelley used her 2 accounts while her mother had her own account. But the mother never said anything to me as far as I'm aware of. Anyway, asked me about Lady Jane, and because she's so religious, clearly she had an issue with it, or perhaps maybe she was worried that Lady Jane would take advantage of me again, like she did last time with me, with Peter, little Peter and his mom, and you know, that situation. But if that was the case, if I really felt that it was a real scam with what Lady Jane had done, in terms of maybe not presenting the story as well as she could have, where it left gaps for people to become suspicious, even including me, where maybe it could be a scam, but that doesn't mean it was a scam. It just means that she didn't give us enough information so that we could feel secure with the outcome of the donations that I was making for Peter's family, right? So with that said, I took another chance because unlike a whole lot of people, I would like to know that little Peter is okay, that he's not going without, you know, right, food because his mother is being abandoned again by her community, right? Did he end up in an orphanage? Is he with his auntie? Whatever. Do they need food? It's not a lot, but $100 buys a little bit of food. And considering what I'm doing, it's no fucking sweat off of my back, because I don't got much time longer to live, right? But at the end of the day, you know, I don't want to submit myself to being like other people and just be a taker. You see, that's the thing. Anybody and everybody around me has been nothing but takers. Haven't you noticed that? Well, I'm not a taker. And I wanted to know if little Peter was okay. And I told Lady Jane, if you can't find them for whatever strange reason, do what you need to do with the next family. And because she'd already introduced me to this child with her siblings, right? It's an automatic default that she would go there and pick up with that family, right? So I'm sharing that on the internet, right? And I'm asking for help, not now, but maybe in 6 months from now, if I make the commitment to do the $100 a month, not because I'm being told to or whatever. It's because I just know, I know the dire situation around what these children are faced in certain parts of Africa, regardless of the freaking country, because I've worked with those children, and it's not fair that they're being lost off to the wayside or being put on a cement where everybody can just walk on by with big fucking ass smiles on their faces and ignore that a child is there by itself with no adult to be found. And for what purpose? When they damn well know that child sacrifice goes on in Uganda. That stuff frightens me. So by nature, you know, I want to nurture. I want to protect the children. I can't stop that from happening, but every now and then, you know, I can make sure that somebody has something to eat. But for whatever strange reason, I guess Lady Jane's, and this is the moral and the point of this, okay? I guess for whatever strange reason, Lady Jane and her moral compass on her YouTube channel sets the precedence as to who supports me on my channel. In other words, I aligned myself with a YouTube verbal, I don't want to call her a harlot, but some people would see her as a harlot. Truly Amazing would see her as a harlot. Forever Blessed would see her as a harlot because she talks adult sex stuff on the internet in a lewd kind of, well, lewd way, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's not so lewd that it's not legal on YouTube. So she's not committing a crime, right? But because I'm now going back to her, I'm asking her to, first of all, look for Peter, didn't find Peter. Then she comes back with these other children, which again wouldn't be unusual because that's the way it was for me at freaking Gateway Place, for crying out loud. You start with 5 children, but before you know it, you got 15. And then the numbers creep up to 40. Next thing you know it, you've got 60. I'd like to see you deal with that. Well, I did. And I know why it happened like that. And I know what the challenges are when you're a community activist trying to do something good for children or just families in general in the community, when there's the naysayers in there that don't want to freaking help you and just want to start controlling the narrative. Well, you can't, how dare you partner up with somebody that talks smut on the internet just so that you can, what do you expect to hope? That you make a donation to children in Africa? Like, come on, people. So I did a little follow-up fucking video on that stupid shit because she deleted her fucking post. She got me, Truly Amazing, who I'm thinking is Shelly, kind of like, oh, well, Lady Jane, and I answered the questions or whatever however it came about, and then she fucking deleted everything. Deleted, and they're gonna see in the post nothing. And then I guess that was on the, what prevents you from giving. And then I did the intermediate video to address that situation. I don't know. I did the intermediate to address that because I don't got time for fucking mind games. You see, that's the point. Okay, I'm busting my butt around here doing things that I shouldn't have to be doing. Having my emotions go up and down like this. Okay, I'm afraid to go look for shit because I'm afraid it will be gone. Well, my daughter wants to sit up there and say, well, you're interfering with me and my friend's relationship because you're trying to put me in the middle of this. I'm like, you do realize I'm out over at least $8,000 worth of shit. As if I got $8,000 to go rebuy, right, what this bitch stole. Okay, so I'm under a lot of pressure here, people. So, and then this Truly Amazing starts coming in with her long ass freaking post telling me that I need to take down my video because I hurt her daughter's feeling, even though her daughter hasn't seen the freaking post yet, and that it makes her sad that I'm assuming this and I'm assuming that and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, well, first of all, I didn't even know that there was fucking 2 of you. I thought it was one person on the same stupid, right, two usernames, one person. But then person's got no pictures, no videos, nothing, no histories. For some reason, they seem to have a fair amount of subscribers with no videos or nothing connected to their pages. Kind of makes you wonder who they really are. But what does it matter? Because they're emotional fucking vampires wanting me to take down fucking videos because I hurt their feelings by calling them out that, hey, I don't see you fucking making donations to freaking anybody at this point in life. Because if you were, I'm sure you'd be promoting the charity that you're making the donation to. Where I, on the other hand, I'm willing to put my neck out, show leadership, and find it in my heart. You see, I don't have to find it in my gut. I don't have to find it in my finances. I don't have to find it in my freaking head. I need to find it in my heart just to make the commitment to do the $100 a month for a year, just to give it a fair shake so that we could bring in that stabilization. But no, not Truly Amazing, not Forever Blessed. They don't want that to happen for those children. Fuck no. They want to control the narrative and make me self-doubt myself, make me question why I'd want to partner up with someone like Lady Jane. But Lady Jane is just the excuse. Okay? Just the excuse. If it wouldn't have been for her, it'd be something or somebody else. I already got women attacking me freaking left, right, and fucking center where I live, as if I need them gangbanging me on with their power tripping viper emotional suck me dry. Well, you need to take out a video now because you hurt my feelings. Even though nobody knows who the hell you are, they don't know what you look like, they don't know where you fucking came from, and you sure are not a community activist, unlike me. Okay? So there you go. I hid both your channels because I don't know who the fuck you are. When I sent you that food, quote unquote, Shelly, if you're watching for this, they didn't even go to a place with your fucking name on it. It went to somebody else's place with a man's name on it because he was your stepdad and you didn't want it delivered at your fucking apartment because you were afraid it would have got stolen at the door. So for all I know, you could be that man, posing as a Shelly. So don't act like your privacy or whatever, or your integrity or whatever is so freaking important when it makes you feel like you got the right to attack me and tear me down pretty much at my weakest point in freaking life. Let me come into your house and rob $8,000 worth of your shit. And then start cutting you fucking up and telling you what to fucking do. Because I'm better than you. I know what I'm talking about. Uh-huh. I was only there to try and help you. So was Rhea. Rhea was only here to try and help me too, and look what the hell she did. Okay? This is called emotional vampirism. If there is such a word. Vampirism. Emotional vampires. It's like that Hindu lady, and I'm going to end it on this. It's like that Hindu lady at the bank. 26 years old. Oh, your life has been hard. I told her, right? I said, well, I guess it has been. I said, how old are you? She said, 26. I said, well, what have you gone through? I'm sure you've been through shit. She goes, well, not like you. I said, yeah, but there's got to be something. She said, yeah, well, I was robbed of my peace. I said, robbed of your peace? What does that mean? Oh, well, you know, I had to get rid of that roommate because for the first year, she was really good. And then after the second year, I don't know what happened to her, but all she wanted to do was pick fights. All she wanted to do was pick fights, bring in other people to pick fights with, right? More. Gangbang, right? You know, right? She'd bring another friend. It'd be two against her, the Hindu lady, right? You know, first it was, everything was fine. And then her roommate started picking fights a year later with the Hindu lady. And then the friends brought another friend. Then it was two women picking a fight with the Hindu lady, even though it was the Hindu lady's house. So she finally said, go away, get out of here. I don't want to live with you no more. And the woman moved out. And the problem went away because the woman valued her emotional peace, her sense of peace. Well, it's the same thing right now. That's the way I'm dealing with this situation. I don't need fucking long ass freaking posts trying to tear me up with women putting themselves in victim positions when nobody really even knows who the hell they are. Okay, and expecting me to take down videos, to change the narrative, to hide something, to falsely attest to something or whatever. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to be there for those kids. They're not. In Africa. And I don't need that kind of negative energy around me. Right? Because I do care about those kids. And that's just a fact. So before I allow somebody to destroy my love for those children as a I don't know. It's you know, as a just you know, it's a motherly thing. It's, you know, right? You know, or a grandma thing or something, you know. There's people who love children and then there's people who don't. If you love children, that never goes away, that never stops. And you always find a way, one way or another, at some point, sooner or later, it might take months, years, whatever, to help somebody. Just like Andre with his mentor, Brad. Andre has a mentor. You know, if he didn't care about young people or kids, Andre would have no mentor. Well, it's the same kind of shit. right? Okay, they come in all shapes and sizes and forms, and you know it's kind of like he's like kind of like a big brother, right? That took him under his wing, and Andre gets to learn how to. Well, he doesn't learn how; he knows how to drive a electric lawnmower. You know, if Brad would never have opened up his heart and took the time to take Andre out of the wing and give him that opportunity, Andre wouldn't know. Well, it's the same thing with what I'm trying to think about, at least in theory, with Lady Jane, with those children in Africa. It's going to be hard doing it by myself, clearly, especially when you got bitches around you that want to fucking tear you down. This isn't any more different than when I used to do park events. It's not any more different than when I used to go out in the Gateway Place and I get women out coming in, picking fights and taking videos and calling the cops on me because I was building birdhouses with the kids or whatever it was. So, who cares if you're a mom or a Shelley? Because I was under the impression Shelley was truly amazing and forever blessed. Now, 4 years later, I'm finding out that truly amazing is the so-called mother, while forever blessed is the Shelley. They're both butthurt because they want to take over the narrative, tell me what to do so they can control me emotionally as the vampire likes to control what they suck on in terms of the blood and the energy. And I don't got time for this. Okay? So being that your fucking post disappeared, I just hid you both your channels. Get on with your life. Go find another fucking YouTube channel to go watch and pray over and do whatever you want. Because I don't care. I really don't. I got more important things to do, and I'm not going to go back and forth with women that, whatever. I just don't. So that's where I'm at with this. Now you can turn it off. We'll see what he's doing.